Welcome back to another episode of Transformation Education with me, Sheree, the Rainbow Hair Artist. So this is the before and after. You can see right here, this was the result that I achieved. So you can see it's a nice pink balayage with some rainbow underneath, of course. And today I'm going to just take you through the whole process of how I did this step by step. So I'm starting at the back here, and I've mixed up bleach and 20 volt for my formulation. I like to just give it a nice big tease when I'm doing a teasy balayage technique. I do actually have a tutorial where I go into much more detail on this teasy balayage technique. If you would like a bit more information on that, I may just drop a link for you down below in the description for anyone that wants more information on that. And as you can see, I'm just putting a nice big tease in there, and then I will use my brush to just sort of feather it. Don't mind me just readjusting my camera here. Sorry about that. So as you can see, just feathering it. I like to put in either a V kind of formation when I do this, or a W, which is quite common when you're doing anything kind of balayage. Just feathering it. And then once I'm happy with the blend, I'll put it on the foil, and I'm just swiping from side to side, spreading that hair open, just really trying to make sure that I'm saturating it. But I'm not pulling this all the way through to her blonde ends, because I don't want to overlap that blonde and cause any breakage. So I'll just swipe her blonde ends to the side and just leave them out basically. You can see that little blonde tail there just as I'm folding it. So her ends aren't being contaminated with the bleach. Just completely going to leave them out, pretend they're not there. She's already a level 10, so there's no way I want to put any more lightener on there if I don't need to. Another thing I may mention is that I am taking these sections on a slight angle, and I am also leaving a bit of hair in between as well, because I don't want to fully lighten her. I still want to leave a little bit of depth within, which I do just sort of find helps me get a nicer blended balayage and a more low maintenance look. So I'm leaving some hair out in between these foils as well. Whenever I do foiling like this, I like to try and stagger my foils. So some of them I'll do them a little bit higher up towards the root. Some of them I'll do a little bit further down, and I just find that also helps me just with my blending. I've just slowed the video down a little bit for you here so you can really get a good look at what I'm doing as I'm foiling it and leaving that blonde end out, because that is a really important point. Now I'm just going to hit fast forward here, because this did take me a long time to apply. I believe this took me about 2 hours in total just to apply these foils. By the time I had finished the front, I did have to rinse the back out just because they had processed. Also, I did end up changing to a 30 volt once I finished the back and started moving on to the front. And I find that starting with the lower peroxide and then bumping it up later on will just help you even out the processing. See how I just grab the ends of her hair here and just twist them up and just push them out of my way, and then I'll fold it. Maybe this is a better angle than before. I'm still trying to work out the whole videoing thing, guys. I'm sorry. And so this went on for a very long time. I actually didn't record the whole thing because I thought I'd just show you what you need to know. And the one thing that I did actually miss and I forgot to record was there's a little step that I've missed out in between my foiling and the next video that you're going to see, and that is I did actually do a root fade at the basin. So I've mixed up a 511, which is just a level 5 ash with 5 vol, and I've just applied that to the root area on wet hair and processed it only for about 5 minutes, just to really help me with the blend and transition. It did blend through quite well, but I do sometimes find with really dark hair I still need to just give it a little bit of a root fade just to help. So that was done before I've started this. And here I am just figuring out where I'm going to place my rainbow panels. So I've sectioned off a top box in there, which we're going to just leave the base colour, which was pink. And this is the section that I'm going to put a rainbow in. So generally I'll do it about 1 inch wide, and I'll just make sure that I put it in a place that's underneath the client's part, so they can choose whether or not they want to wear their hair up and they can make it a bit more obvious, or if they're just going about their daily business and they want it to be a bit more subtle, it's just going to be underneath. So starting off by putting a mesh sheet, I'm starting with my pink up the top. I'm basically just going to paint a rainbow. Usually whenever I'm doing something like this, I'll make sure that I follow the colour wheel with my placement of colours. That way it just seems to flow really well together. But in this one in particular, I'm not actually going to be using every single colour of the rainbow. So I believe I left out the orange and the green this time. But you still will get that rainbow effect, because when I blend all these colours in together, as you can see right here, I will get that little bit of green where the blue and the yellow meet. But just less, it will be less obvious. Here I am making sure to use a towel to wipe my fingers, just so that I'm not going to contaminate those colours by accident. Something I'll just mention as well is you'll notice here when I blend the darker colour into the lighter colour rather than trying to blend the lighter colour into the darker colour. I just find that that's what works better for me. And notice what I'm about to do here is pick up my next colour, which is going to be purple, and I'm putting it underneath the bit of hair. And the reason that I'm doing this is I'm just using it as a glue, because I'm about to add in another mesh sheet because her hair is very long. So that'll just stick down there for me, and now I'll just continue on in the same pattern that I've been doing. Handy little tip. So once I'm happy with the first section, now I'm going to grab some more hair from the section that I've taken to be rainbow, lay it down on top, and just repeat the same process over and over. You want to make sure that this section is nice and fine and you can see through it, just so that you're going to make sure that you're saturating it well. I like to start off with my yellow. It's not a rule though, you can really do it however you like. If you want to start from the top and work your way down, you certainly can, or start with whatever colour you like really. I think there's no right or wrong way to do this, and it's just art and it's completely individual. So you do whatever you feel is right. I'm about to hit fast forward for you, just to speed this along a little bit because it can be quite a time consuming process. But I end up doing about 3 of these panels in total, and I will show you what it looks like once it's finished. And the next step will be putting through our base colour. So I end up doing 1 on this side, 1 on the other side, and then 1 in the back. 3 panels in total. So this is what it looks like once I've got all my 3 panels in place. Very satisfying to look at. And once this is done, I'm going to put another set of mesh sheets over the top just to cover it all up. Then I'm going to roll these up onto the top of her head, keep them nice and safe. And then I will start applying my base colour from the bottom. I do find it easier to just start from the bottom and work my way up generally when I'm applying vivids. That way you don't have to disturb it. Like, you just paint it and then it's done. You don't have to like go back through and move the hair, if that makes any sense. You'll see. Like I said, starting at the bottom, at the back of her head, I'm applying 2 different base colours that I've mixed up. One is like a light pink, and the other one is also a pink, but it's just a little bit different. So one is kind of a bright pink and one is a bit more of a muted pink. I'm going to show you in a second. I will actually pick my bowls up and just point them at the camera so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Here are those colours I was telling you about in a second. So these are my base colours. I am really not a brand specific hairdresser. I mix and match, but this, I think with this was mainly Joico Intensity, Hot Pink and Magenta. I diluted them with conditioner as well, and I mix everything very much to the eye. So I'll just mix it in the bowl until it is the colour that I like, and then I apply it. That's about it. I'm not really following any particular order. I'm just sort of putting these two different colours through just at random, just wherever I feel like it. I'll do one brighter piece, one more muted piece. Nothing specific. I think this whole process took me about 1 hour to apply, and this is how it looks once it's all finished. I've just taken the mesh sheets off so that you could see these rainbow panels again, the whole look once it's complete. And I've processed her for about 20 minutes, and now it's time to rinse. I haven't got my basin plumbed in yet into my home salon that I'm building, so this is just a portable basin here. And I'm just taking it all out, and I'm going to rinse her with cold water. Cold water is really the key here when you're rinsing out vivids, just to stop those colours bleeding, and you should be using cold water anyway just to keep that cuticle shut and for the longevity of the colour. I always recommend to my clients to use cold water anytime they wash their hair. I won't shampoo. Very rarely would I ever shampoo here. I'm just rinsing, so really thorough. I rinse like I'm rinsing out a perm. Normally I wouldn't condition either. I find that these colours are so conditioning anyway that I don't need to, but if I had someone that I was really concerned about the damage in their hair, then I might do a treatment, a mask after as well. Now I'm just going to give it a nice blow dry and then put some curls in it. I believe I've already trimmed it at this point, but you don't want to see that. For the curls here, I'm using my Mint Tools curling iron. I do have a product review available on that as well on my YouTube channel if you like. I'll leave a link in the description for you. And I also do have another more in-depth tutorial on how I do my curls. If you're interested in that, I will leave that in the description as well. It's going to be a very big and long description. But essentially, I just like to leave the ends out. I'll curl everything back from the face, and I just like to leave about 1 inch of the client's ends out just to give it a more casual curl kind of look and just to stop it feeling so short. Now once this is complete, I'm going to just give it a bit of a comb out with a wide tooth comb, or just kind of run my fingers through it. Then I'm going to take her outside into the natural light and start taking some photos of it. Here's those results in natural lighting. It is quite a warm area at the front of my house because we're up against the bricks, so it's quite a little bit warmer than it actually is in person. But yeah, those are the results. So thank you so much if you've stuck around until here. I really appreciate you watching these videos. Please don't forget to give me a like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can see more. I also like to share a lot of information on my Instagram page as well. Yeah, that's it. See you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.